You see the words "the end" on the screen, but what you don't know is that it took me 12 years to get to this moment, and it almost cost me my life. It all began with a dream. But not just any dream. It was a dream that would change everything. Until I found myself in a place I had never been before. A dream so vivid that it felt more real than reality itself.
You're being prepared to remember everything.
Oh crap. Remember everything? Everything what? Back then, I was no stranger to lucid dreams and mysterious out-of-body experiences. But this felt like a real message. It felt like the universe had just whispered a secret I wasn't ready to understand.
Dom, can you go to the market for me?
Life didn't stop. There were errands to run. But that experience, it lingered. Like a riddle I was meant to solve. Even while doing all these everyday things, my mind kept coming back to it. It was like it was calling me. I couldn't shake the feeling that it wasn't just a dream, that it was something begging to be explored. So I did the only thing I could to quiet the noise inside my chest. Once upon a time. But there was a problem. I don't really know how to write a book. Well, that's right. I wasn't a writer, not even close. I had never written anything in my life. I barely had the habit of reading, let alone writing. But even so, I started writing. But let me tell you, there was nothing I could have done to prepare myself for what was coming. A parasitic relationship so toxic that drained me down to the last atom of my soul. And right after that mad, dark period, the dreams came back. The experiences came back. But this time, they brought new revelations and fragments of a story far greater and deeper than I could ever have imagined. Have a look at this. What started as a single book turned into a trilogy, the main story, the core universe. And then, just like that, 8 more books came, all of them happening in the same freaking universe. And here is where things get a bit mental. 5 of these new books, let's just call them A, B, C, D, and E, all take place between books 2 and 3 of the main trilogy. This one happens at the same time as book B, sharing characters, events, and some stuff I can't reveal just yet. This one connects directly to book C, and this other one, even though it's in the same time frame as book 3, it's all about time travel, which means it actually changes events of book 1, 2, and even books D and A. Oh, and I almost forgot this one over here. It also ties into the ending of book 3. Now, imagine my brain trying to keep track of all this bloody maze. Right after wrapping up the first outline, I looked at the pages and thought, yeah, there's no way around it. I really need to learn how to write. And that's where the real journey began. I went back to square zero and started learning how stories were truly built. Watched every writing video I could find, and wow, I learned so much. In the middle of so much different advice, there was one thing every writer seemed to agree on.
Would you like to be a writer? Read as much as you can. The more you read, the better, because it will teach you what you like and what you think makes good writing.
But between us, I'll be honest, I hate reading. But then I remember a video about J.K. Rowling where she mentioned,
I have met a lot of children actually who've said that Harry introduced them really to the pleasures of reading.
So I thought to myself, well, maybe I'll give it a go too. I bought the first Harry Potter book and it wasn't so bad. Then I got the second one and I started noticing a pattern in the way she wrote. By the time I picked up the third, I wasn't even paying attention to her writing anymore. Without realizing it, I reached the last book completely in love with the act of reading. After all that reading and studying, I pulled out that monstrous outline of my books and started reading it all over again. Jesus Christ! How am I supposed to write this? Yeah, the story was too big, too complicated, too deep, and I felt nowhere near ready to write it. But still, I decided to trust the process. I sat my butt down and started writing. Periodically, I would lie on the floor and cry. How am I supposed to do this? My head was exploding with so much information. Dreams just kept pouring in non-stop, and I had no idea how to organize any of it. I simply wasn't capable of writing. But even through the tears of pain and despair, I wrote. I wrote and wrote. And after about a year of struggle, I finished the first draft of the first book. Finally. Another year went by, and 8 revisions later, I started book 2. After another year of hard work, it turned into twice the size of the first novel. Almost 700 pages of a fantastic adventure. Book 3, on the other hand, took me a little longer to begin. That one was the monster. If I cried writing books 1 and 2 because I didn't know how to write them, with book 3, I didn't even bother crying. I just didn't start, out of pure fear. I knew I wasn't capable. You've got no idea of the monstrosity I had in my hands. I had no clue why God had entrusted me with such an impossibly difficult mission, one so far beyond my ability to execute. I still don't know the answer, but I can tell you this. It wasn't just about learning how to write. There was a far greater lesson hidden between the lines of my own life. It was always about who I was meant to become during the process. So that's what I did. I took a deep breath, rolled up my sleeves, and began writing the third book. As I moved forward, I could feel myself changing, transforming in such a profound way that I still don't know how to put it into words. But life didn't get any easier. My mind was foggy. My body still dealing with the aftermath of the first stroke, but I kept going, even when I could barely get out of bed. And then came the second stroke. I came back from the hospital with a heart still beating, but a mind that barely worked. The stroke was brutal. I couldn't think, couldn't focus. I felt like a ghost of who I used to be. And even then, I kept writing, one word at a time. And then, on December 18th, 2024, I finally finished the first draft of book 3. But this is far from the end. There's so much left to do. I'm still not fully recovered from the burnout or the strokes. But here I am, showing up, trying one more time. If I could leave you with one message right now, it would be this. Sometimes all you really need to do is take the first step, even if you have no clue where it's gonna lead you. And yeah, maybe you'll hit a few walls. You feel like it was all for nothing. But in the end, wherever the road takes you, there's one thing you'll always find: yourself.